forgot what it, or the computer forgot what it's doing.
Oh, you.
There you go. Oh.
Thank you.
Huh. Hey, Myra.
Yes, sir.
So if you forgot your password, dead serious.
You can't do it. Can we log in as me and then log in as you when you get on board docs?
I don't even know that stuff.
You don't know your board docs password?
No, it's automatic.
She knows your board docs.
Is this it?
I don't know.
Or is this it? Or
Well, that board, option one. You don't know of a way to change people's passwords to get on the computer, correct? I believe Josiah disabled that feature.
Yes.
that's lovely.
But you can get Chris's password for board docs, correct?
No, it doesn't show it to me.
But you could change
It might be. Hold on, let me get into it.
We had it within our presence for
This isn't good.
Have fun reading my email. It's just gonna get you on a computer. It's gonna take it a minute though. So see if it's on your desktop.
So Josiah has to, or
Well,
the new company has to.
You have to have it changed on the back end.
I can change it, but I cannot see it. It's not giving me.
You can change my.
Board docs only.
Board docs. I cannot change your other one.
But all we need is the internet.
Wow.
So I'm gonna get you on the internet,
Yeah.
and then she'll get you in board docs. So if you wanna go tell her what you want your new password to be.
Let's just try this.
Okay.
Hopefully this doesn't take.
Or you can have it make it anything and you can change it later.
That's true.
I know I'm holding it up.
I just don't wanna get in trouble.
Well, we know it's your fault, so.
I actually just go around and like, let's break Bruce's computer, let's break Chris's, next week it's Jackie.
Let's forget
She totally erased me last meeting.
I did not erase you because you were voting.
No, I was voting to save it.
Yeah.
No, but I had to mark it, so I did not erase you.
Yeah, I had to say I-88.
He votes yay. It's like yay.
Okay.
It was easier when I could use what I normally use.
21st.
always the case.
I think so. No.
I think the computer's broke because it started thinking like that on mine.
Oh. Well, you could use my iPad.
Sure.
You can always just say yes.
I could say yes and no.
And this is
But we'd like to be able to see.
pretty short.
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot in it.
I just like to be able to see exactly motion typed on there and everything.
You can leave the laptop with me and I can get IT to correct it.
You got it. Let's
Okay.
go.
And then I will get in touch with you if they need anything. Is that all right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. That'll work.
Okay, great.
Okay, I'm gonna call this meeting to order at 7:32. Please join for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mayor Terry Wycombe,
Here.
Vice Mayor Steve Sanger,
Here.
Councilmember Darrell Gardner,
Here.
Councilmember Tanya Lumen,
Here.
Councilmember Bruce Seelow,
Here.
Councilmember Jacqueline Wells,
Here.
Councilmember Chris Weisenberg.
Here.
All right, thank you. Next thing on the agenda is to approve the agenda. There is one item, I believe, that we want to remove. Is that correct?
You can.
The DDA Main Street Hub reports.
This is just approving our agenda for tonight.
Right,
Yeah, but we have
So
to
we gotta
remove,
change it
but
first.
this is on the agenda.
Oh, okay.
so we have to remove that.
So under 7B, would somebody make a motion, please? Councilman Wells?
I'll make a motion to approve the January 22nd, 2024 City Council agenda with removal of the 7B.
Second?
It's been a motion made and seconded to approve the January 2nd, 2024 City Council agenda with the change of removing number 7B. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, please open online voting.
Online voting is open.
Aye.
Thank you. Why are you in here? Online voting has closed. The motion passes with 7 yeas.
All right, thank you. The next thing on our agenda is to approve the consent agenda. Councilman Wells?
I move to approve the consent agenda of January 2nd, 2024 with the pulling out of the minutes of December 19th to new business, or is that yeah, new business.
Is there a second?
Second.
Been a motion made and seconded to approve the consent agenda of January 2nd, 2024, with the exception of pulling out the minutes for December 19th. Is there any further discussion? Please open online voting.
She's gotta move it.
Hmm?
She's gotta move it.
Okay, yeah, it'll take a second, I get it.
You have to refresh it.
Rawlins Unit 9 and 10 of
Hold on one second. I just have to write the motion to move it back. Okay, so sorry about the time. Online voting is open. Council Weisenberg?
Yes. Sorry.
Online voting has closed. The motion passes with 7 yeas.
All right, thank you. Next thing on our agenda is citizens' participation. This is a time that is set aside by resolution number 2C-96. It sets a time limit for public comment of 5 minutes for things that are not on the agenda. So if somebody here would like to address the council on an item that is not on the agenda, now is when. Seeing nobody, we will move on to the next thing on the agenda, which is a presentation of the Community Builder Award for January 2024. And I would turn the floor over to the members of the Rawlins Volunteer Committee.
Honorable Mayor, Council. The Community Builder Award is a monthly award the city presents to local individuals, businesses, and organizations for their volunteer service, sponsorship, promotion of programs and events, outstanding service in the interest of the city, and for other contributions significant to Rawlins' quality of life. The Volunteer Committee would like to present the January 2024 Community Builder Award to Carbon County School District Number 1 Recreation Board. Myra has put something together and she'll share more.
And I'm going to go ahead and invite Brooke Merzek up. She's joining us from the school board, recreation board tonight. As we all know, public service takes dedication, decisiveness, and a heart for the community. Tonight we are honored to recognize the Carbon County School District Number 1 Recreation Board. The Recreation Board members are appointed by the school board to manage the recreation mill levy, which is approved by our residents. The Rec Board works as a team to support recreation in all its forms. They support programs, facilities, and equipment that develop the body and mind in School District Number 1, including Baggs, Rawlins, and Sinclair. They have provided partial funding for hundreds of programs in the district. They provide significant support for our Rawlins Family Rec Center, including sports equipments, shooting range support, music in the park, and much more. They support other programs in Rawlins, including the Rawlins Aquatic Center and funding for the nonprofit youth sports. They have supported preschools throughout our communities, the fairgrounds, the Sinclair Rec Center, the Valley Community Center, the Carbon County Museum, and our library system. These rec board members give their time to find needs and to be a part of creating a solution. They listen to their neighbors and help people throughout their district. We are proud to recognize them tonight for giving of their time and knowledge to improve our communities. And so, Brooke, we have for you a plaque. And then we do give an honorarium of $100 in the name of the rec board. And you guys have to decide that, like a bureaucracy, like a group that makes decisions together at the next meeting. So we'll report back who that's going to go to.
Okay, thank you.
But we really appreciate you guys. Yeah. We'll let you stand. Thank you.
Thank you. Well deserved. The next thing on our agenda is the Parks and Rec Advisory Board appointment. Councilman Wells.
I move to appoint Mary Pat Whitfield to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee for a term ending December 31st, 2026.
Second.
There's been a motion made and seconded to appoint Mary Pat Whitfield to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee for a term ending December 31st, 2026. Is there any further discussion?
Mary Pat is here.
Mary Pat, would you like to come up and tell us what your grand plans are.
Well, when I saw that this had an opening, my husband was very, very active in the Parks and Recreation Department years ago. He helped build he was on the board that built the new building, and I've been very active when my boys were young, a long time ago, with baseball and other sports. I also am, I walk a lot. I use the walking path that has been built, and being on the Visitors Council, I really would like to see something that we could get more recreation with bicycle paths and walking paths in our area, because I think it could bring more people in and benefit all of us. So I would really enjoy being a part of that, and I thank you.
Well, thank you. And thank you for applying. Any further discussion? Please open online voting.
Online voting is open.
Yay.
Online voting is closed. The motion passes with 7 yeas.
All right, thank you. The next thing on our agenda is the Rawlins Ranch Golf Course Advisory Board update to the council. And so I will turn the floor over to the Rawlins or the Rochelle Ranch Advisory Board, whoever wants to.
I got a little update I can hand out to each of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So, thank you for allowing us to present tonight. I'm Tim Hoffman. I'm president of the advisory board. With me tonight is Mr. Mike Scheller, who just joined our board. Thank you, Mike, for coming out and volunteering. And Mr. Steve Skordas, who's been on the board before and just re-upped for another term. So we've got some consistency in our board, which is good too. Just real quick, going over what we just handed out to you. It's been a pretty interesting year for the golf course. One of the biggest things that happened was we had Mr. Kyle Berkshire, who's a professional long drive golfer, came to our course and set a long drive record. That was pretty awesome. He does plan to come back, and we'd like to see that sometime later this year. Just the coverage that we get with that, people find out where Rawlins is and that we have this nice golf course here. So
Oh, it's huge, yeah.
it was pretty cool. I listed some of the rankings that we have here, and some of this is just from people who do golf. So like the Golf Pass and the TripAdvisor, that's people who have come out here, played our course, and ranked it. So it's some pretty awesome numbers there too. Golf Digest ranked 29th toughest golf course in the nation, and if you ever played it, it can play pretty tough, especially if you're playing from the tips. So course usage, we've been pretty consistent with membership sold up and down, but nice to see the 23 was back up again a little bit. Hoping that continues. Rounds played, it's been kind of consistent. Glad to see that we're still sticking with a number of rounds being played at that number. Like to see that go up. Cart fees paid, just changing some of the way the fee structure was. We were able to collect some more money on the cart fees, so trying to do our part to get some things paid for ourselves. So goals achieved. We do have golf carts coming. We'll replace the battery ones that we've had for many, many years. We're having some issues with the batteries and trying to keep those charged, and the winters here are very tough on trying to keep battery operated golf carts working and usable come spring. So gas carts that we do have now, just got to freshen them up when you start the season and they're ready to go. So it should be a much better way to do things. We do have, and I think you guys are aware, we have a grant that's going to get us a golf simulator at the 19th hole out at the ranch. hopefully that's one of these things, and we've wanted it as a board for a long time. One, because we like to golf, and we can't do that during the winter, so hopefully this will give us an opportunity to go out and play and keep in with the swing and all that stuff that us golfers like to do. But we like to see that as an expansion too of what Kevin, our pro, can do, maybe do some lessons during the off season. This is something where we can get a younger generation involved, so hopefully we can get some golfers involved at a younger age, come out and use the simulator. We're not just so we can teach them how to play golf a little bit, but be able to do it in an indoor facility without having to worry about having the kids out on the course all the time too. So with our weather here, it's definitely something that's going to help us, again, promote the game of golf, get some people more, hopefully some more members out there. Other things we did get done this year, pump house was painted. We're still doing some work on the entrance there to make that area a little better to look at as you come into the golf course. Pro shop got painted, and there were some changes to how Kevin has some things set up in the pro shop. If you get out there, it's set up just a little bit different. We're just trying to promote the way we can sell some more items out there. Our board did host its first tournament, and we're just trying to raise money ourselves so we can get some smaller things paid for or set some money aside so we can look for a larger project in the future. Going forward, we're looking at cart path improvements, and we've looked at that not just so that the golfers have a better experience, but we're hoping that can be expanded to where Mary Pat just made a mention of, can we have some more trails? Well, if we can get these cart paths in better shape, that opens it up for possibly some biking, some runners, walkers, whatever. I know they do host some small races out there, so maybe if we can keep that cart path project going and get that cleaned up a little bit better, have some more use out there for other than just golf, which we're, as golfers, we're okay with that. It's a big course, get people out there. Continue to work on cleaning up the pump house and other areas. We've got some erosion issues due to the pond and the way the pond slaps against the sides of the certain areas. That's being addressed. We're always looking at ways to improve the course. We will do our tournament again. And besides our tournament, there are several tournaments that are held every year, so the course does get some good use with some people from out of town, which is great. We talked about things like advertising on the driving range, get some signage out there if people are interested in. And again, it's a way we can sell advertising, get some money back in, and hopefully help out the entire money situation with the golf course. Some repairs we have coming up are the restrooms and the kitchen area. It's the floors. I think everything there is kind of original. So we'll be looking at some things we can do with that. Another thing we've discussed it with the Golf Pro too, was trying to get some state tournaments here, because there's a senior golf association. There's other things that go on in this state. I don't think we've hosted a Wyoming Golf Association tournament here yet, but we're trying to knock on that door and get some people out here for that. We have had some high school activity out there, which is great. Get these young kids involved in golf, so we have future golfers. That's love to see that. Now, install a Rochelle Ranch sign in front of the pro shop. It's one of those things where you make that turn to go down to the driveway to get down to the golf course. If you haven't gone out there, you look like you're going nowhere sometimes, and I don't know how people from out of town look at that. But I'd like to see that some of our people understand that that's where you're heading, it's all good, and when you get there, there's a sign that says welcome. Long term, update signage around with some other sponsoring. We don't want to take away from any of the people that originally helped out getting this course up to date or started, and that's where the tee areas had some original investors do some things for advertising. We want to keep that, but then add some new ones too, because people should have the opportunity to say, I want to have my name out there too. So we're going to look at that. And that's the same thing with the driving range advertising. I mentioned Mr. Berkshire is going to try to come back and do another event here, so we'll try to make that a little more popular and get some more people out there to see that. And one thing we'd like to do is, because it's in a while since we talked to probably the Rochelle family about what they've done. We'd like to be able to offer something to them for what they did for gifting that area to the city to have that golf course out there and get that up. We were going to discuss that some further in our meetings. That's it. All in all, the course was in pretty good shape this year. We talked about some things with our superintendent out there to make sure that we can get those greens in better shape faster. But all in all, we're all golfers. We're all out there, and the board is very active in that part of it. So, yes.
I just wanted to say thank you for being open to hosting the cross-country team this year, too. I think it was a good success, and
Yeah,
I'm glad we had them out there.
that kind of happens more often than you think around the country, too, where they go to golf courses for that.
Mm-hmm, yep. We'd had it in Sinclair for the past
Oh, yeah.
long
Yeah.
time, so I wanted it in Rawlins. It's a Rawlins meet, so.
Good deal.
Well, all I can say is keep up the good work. The golf course looks great from the highway, and I do appreciate your extra effort on trying to raise more funds and more tournaments. And I think tournaments might be the biggest fundraiser. Just, you know, not everybody has our golf course. I mean, it's really something. And I'm going to steal a little bit of Tom's language from a earlier speech this year about Mr. Berkshire. He came here to set the record, but he could have set it anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And yes, we have a beautiful golf course, but it was Tom's belief, and I absolutely agree that the reason he came here was because of the people he met here. And so, tribute to Rawlins and the fine people, but it's really something to have that happen on our golf course.
Oh, yeah, this guy is a professional long drive
Yeah.
participant. He's not just some guy off the street that's going to go hit a club. He does it
Yeah.
professionally.
Yeah, he didn't invent something to be the way. Yeah, it's amazing to me, and well, just with all the amazing people that
Yeah.
are in our town. But I can't wait till he comes back.
Yeah, I hope that happens. I really do.
Yeah. And okay, go ahead, Councilman.
Tim, I have just a few questions, and some of this might reflect back into Tom needing to look into some stuff, though. I was just curious, do you know the revenue that was made off the first tournament? I know it wasn't like a super huge tournament, but it will grow.
Well, our
as long as-
advisory one?
Yeah.
What did we netted out of that? Just a few grand, wasn't it?
How much?
Just a couple grand.
So estimated $2,000.
Yeah.
Okay, and then,
Nothing like the hospital tournament or some of these other
Yeah.
ones where it's,
but they're well established, right?
Yes.
Those
Oh,
are
yeah.
well established, and
Yep.
if this can become a well established tournament,
yep,
then it just builds more and more. That's what I've noticed
Yeah.
with the tournaments out there too, so.
yep.
And then along with the family golf membership for the Rochelle family, are you thinking like immediate type family? Is that what you guys are like kind of projecting there?
Yes, the ones
Because I'd
that-
like to see something like that too, you know,
Yeah.
to honor them also possibly, so.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is probably gonna be something more for Tom to kind of look at too, but if I'm not mistaken, there was some money set back in a capital expenditure possibly 2 years ago, to do some engineering and stuff like that on the erosion of the greens on the ponds. I think we really need to look at that and see how much was set back. I want to say, if my memory recalls, it's something like $50,000, right? And I know we had said that there's some possible ways it could be done. I know that they had talked about like doing the retaining wall out of like plastic or something like that, and it was kind of like, does that fit our course type deal? Or, you know, put in like treated lumber in through there to kind of push it back out to where it used to be years ago, right? But we need to make sure where that money is, or if I'm mistaken, it got pulled out. I don't know for sure, but if my memory serves me right, we need to, you know, just kind of look at that and see, because that would be a big step in getting that done.
Yeah.
So, and moving forward. So.
Yeah, we've had discussions too, not just hole 6 and 7, but hole 18. it's not an erosion issue, it's just a beautification issue, if there's
Yes.
something we could do around that pond, because everybody sees that one as you're in that driveway and parking area, and I'd just like to see that be more
Yeah.
of a statement hold versus what it kind of looks like now.
And it's an absolute necessity, right? It's a retention pond for the water
Right.
from the river pump station, so it's a necessity. So, yeah, absolutely, I think. But
That's the retention one.
yeah, the 18 is a retention pond, right at the. It's between 18, or yeah, 18, and then there's the retention pond. Sorry, the retention pond's at 9. So, but 18 is part of that too.
Yeah.
That would be a good area too, right there to focus, because that comes right into the clubhouse at between 9 and 10
Yeah,
also. Yep.
Anything else? I
Thanks.
have these for you too. These are for the board members, and it's a small, but thank you from all of us to. Thank you, sir. All the fine service you give us. I was gonna say something about all the money you're in doing it, but I didn't think of better. All right, thank you again. Next thing on our agenda is city manager and city attorney reports.
DDA?
And we pulled that off
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. I get you.
due to illness.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Mayor, City Council. Tonight's report's going to focus a lot on the budget. I want you to know that we've started, our budget process in earnest. We have 3 or 4 different aspects of that we are working on, and we're hoping to issue reports to council for your review, so then we can discuss it. One of those reports that I'm getting closer to is on our funded depreciation. We've talked a lot about that over the last year, and I am getting closer to where I can issue that so that we will know how to budget and what we will do with our capital expenditures in this year's budget. So I am getting closer onto that. One of the steps that we do is we review our revenues and our fee schedules and our rates. And by city ordinance, I need to review those with the council in the month of January, our rates, fees that we have. So we are working on a report that will summarize our rates and our fees and what our goals and what we're trying to reach with that. And then we will also bring recommendations to the council as to where we think, or that staff feels, that the rates should be set. And that would be for council consideration on that. I believe it'll be an in-depth discussion. We'll look at water, sewer, recreation, and all those different rates. So we will see how we want to proceed, if we want to go to that in a council meeting or a work session or a special meeting. But we will be able to discuss that, and I'll let you know kind of what I want that discussion to be from our end for your consideration. The next step then is the strategic planning and the second retreat with the council. The first one we had was very productive. And what we would like to do is to prepare kind of a rough draft of the strategic plan based on what was discussed at the first one. And I would like to bring that to council for another work session, planning session, so that council can look down through and see kind of what is proposed based on that meeting. And hopefully we can finalize that through the council as to what the council goals and the projects and those things. And then what I will do with that after we have that approved is we will put that into the budget as expenditures, and we will show within the annual budget how we will accomplish those goals. So that is the next step, with council will be the strategic planning and reviewing the rates in there. So Budget-wise, that's kind of where we stand right now, and our future plans kind of within the next month. On the water side, transmission line side, we are ready to issue the RFP on the SCADA system that we have. And we have found some help with our engineering so that we can start getting some RFPs written. And we will get the RFP written very soon for the design of the transmission line. Now, there are multiple sources that we are hearing of potential revenue for this summer that we have from the state and through other sources. So we really want to get that design done as soon as we can on the transmission line. And we are hopeful that one of these revenue sources will come through and that we'll be able to actually do a project this summer on the transmission line. That is our goal. And if council would like to know more of our plans, a more in-depth thing, I'm happy at some point, you know, to either do a work session or something with where we stand with water. The only other thing to report tonight is that Monday, January 15th is Equality Day, and the city offices will be closed in observance of that holiday. And that is my report.
Okay, thank you. And Panita, you?
Thank you, Honorable Mayor and Council. I do have just a short report, a short little update. There is a new public records request process that we have implemented that this piggybacks off of and coordinates with the revisions to the fee schedule that were recently adopted. And that new public records request form is available online. Myra is working on making it fillable online for the ease of use. And in that, we are working with the different departments throughout the city government to be able to direct those requests appropriately, conform to all the statutory timelines in providing the responses, and also to track where requests are coming from, who's getting the request, what is costing in regard of to copies and staff and employee time to complete those requests. The other update that will be coming on I mentioned it last meeting as an update was the MOU regarding the special assessments that will actually come before council during the next meeting for final approval and ratification. It has been approved by the county. We just didn't get it in on time to this agenda.
I can't wait. That's a milestone there. It's a good thing. Is there more?
Not until we get to the ordinance.
Oh, okay.
Thank you very much, Council.
Yep. Does anybody have any questions of them? Or I guess the next thing on the agenda is direction from city council to city manager. So, Councilman Seeloff?
I'd just like to know if we could get an update on where we're at out south on our water, if we're going to have a problem this spring because of the low snow and everything else. You know, it'd be kind of nice to keep an update on us.
Yes, I will prepare that for the next meeting where all of the reservoirs are full. They're topped off from this last year. And we feel that the springs will be strong this spring because from what we understand, it is every 2 years that it kind of refills. So we believe right now that we'll be in good shape come spring, but I will research and have a better report for you.
And for clarification, that's not counting the new water treatment.
That's correct. The pre-treatment plant will still operate with the same capacity, so we could still use river water, and that won't fluctuate unless in March there's a call on the river. Sometimes there's a call on the river, but we should be good with our springs and our nugget wells during that time to make up if there is. So,
And I think we have pretty good seniority on that river water too, but, okay. Anybody else? Councilman Lumen?
On Equality Day, is the dump closed as well? The trash?
I believe that it is.
It'll be closed as
Because it is
well,
on our
okay.
holiday, and if it is, we will definitely
Let people
contact
know,
both
yeah.
haulers to make sure that they're aware of that.
Thank you.
Is there anything else? All right, we'll be moving on to new business, which is an ordinance, and I would entertain a motion at this time. Councilman Wells?
I move to approve the first reading and waive the reading of the Rawlins Municipal Ordinance amending Title 604070, Animals, Nuisance, and Vicious Animals.
Second.
Been a motion made and seconded to approve the first reading and waive the reading of Rawlins Municipal Ordinance amending Title 6.04.070, Animals, Nuisance, and Vicious Animals. Is there any discussion? And I will turn the floor over to you, Panita.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor and Council. We have proposed changes and modifications to the vicious animal ordinance. As you will recall, it was recently changed October of '22, so a little over a year. We went through the ordinance and in coordination with the Rawlins Police Department, Animal Control and Prosecution, made some proposed changes, and some of the overall highlights, instead of you having to go through all the red lines, are taking out some of the strict requirements after a first offense. We also, a lot of the wording in the ordinance referred to dogs, expanded it to be animals, which also comports with the vicious animal and nuisance animal. Maybe it's a loud horse or a rooster or who knows. So that's been changed. We reduced the strict requirements for some of the convictions. After some of the convictions, it was requiring $100,000 additional special liability policy for these animals. We felt that was a little too strict, and who knows what the additional circumstances were in regard to the conviction and the underlying the facts of the matter. We also removed a requirement to have a cement pad with chain link fence if you wanted to have the dog outside. Not everybody lives in a house or has those sorts of that sort of space. Maybe you live in an apartment. So we removed some of those very strict requirements, limited them, worked with RPD and Animal Control to make sure that the proposals were realistic, that animal enforcement could enforce those, and provide the court and the judge more discretion after a second or third offense, whether it was an animal needed to be surrendered or put down, because the facts are always unique to each of these circumstances. I open the floor to any other questions you may have.
Does anybody have any questions? Hearing none, we open online voting. Thank you, Panita.
Online voting is open. Online voting is closed. The motion passes with 7 yeas.
All right, thank you. Councilman Weisenberg?
I'd move to approve City Council minutes of December 19th, 2023, regular council meeting as presented.
Second.
Wait a minute.
No, it's, we moved it
Oh,
to new
yeah.
business.
Okay, yeah,
Because of me.
I forgot.
And other people.
And Steve. Oh, and Steve. We didn't hear either.
So there's been a motion made. Has there been a second?
Yes, Councilmember Seelow.
Okay, there's been a motion made and seconded to approve the minutes from December 19th. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
As written. Is there any further discussion? Please open online voting.
Online voting is open.
I'm sorry. Online voting has closed. The motion passes with 5 yeas and 2 abstained. The 2 abstained with Vice Mayor Sanger and Councilmember Wells.
All right, thank you. And I will, it's time to adjourn this meeting, and our next meeting will be January 16th, 2024. Thank you.